Welcome to Mythtastic. In today's video, we will be discussing 10 myths regarding dogs. As one of the most lovable animals, dogs are a common pet to have in most parts of the world. There are many breeds of dogs that people have, some being more common than others, and each having their own personality trait. Although these adorable animals have been man's best friend for thousands of years, there are still many myths about dogs that people still believe. Before we start, hit the subscribe button to see more content like this in the future, and leave a like if you enjoy the video. Now, let's get started. Myth number 1. 1 dog year is equal to 7 human years. One of the most common things that people say about dogs is that time moves much faster for them than it does for humans, which is why some say when you leave the house for a short amount of time, it feels like it's been days for your dog. People think that 1 human year is equal to 7 years for a dog, but this is actually false, as how old your dog is in dog years is dependent on their size and breed. A smaller dog, like a Chihuahua, usually lives between 12 to 18 years compared to a larger breed like a Great Dane. Those live between 8 to 10 years. So, when converting human years to dog years, it's going to be different for each dog. 16 human years is 80 in dog years for a smaller breed, but a large dog, 16 years, is equal to 120 in dog years. Also, dogs age rapidly at first, but once they mature, then their aging begins to slow down. So every dog's first year of life is equivalent to 15 human years. Once they hit around 5 to 6 human years old, that's when converting their age to dog years differs depending on the breed and size of the dog. Every dog ages differently, but the rule of 1 human year equaling 7 dog years, that's just not true. Myth number 2. A dog has a cleaner mouth than a human's. Dogs can be seen using their mouth to clean themselves, or any wounds that they have, so it's only right to assume that their mouths are cleaner than ours since they can use it to keep themselves clean. Also, their saliva has proteins in it which keep infections from spreading. Dogs aren't the only animal to have wound-healing saliva, as other animals, such as humans, have the same thing. But this doesn't mean you should go trying it yourself. Although a dog's saliva may be clean, it doesn't mean that their mouth is. In fact, sometimes it can carry bacteria such as Salmonella or E. coli. But it's hard to compare a dog's mouth to a human's mouth since different bacteria can live in a person's mouth versus a dog's mouth. Not to mention, dogs sometimes tend to eat some of the nastiest things that they can get their hands on, and they're unable to take care of their teeth like people since dogs can't brush their teeth, and they definitely can't schedule dentist appointments. It might be hard to compare a dog's mouth to a human's, but their mouth is not cleaner. Myth number 3. Dogs can't see color. Many people immediately assume that some animals are colorblind. One of these animals is dogs. We're not sure why people think that dogs can only see in black and white, but this isn't true. They do see in color, but not too well compared to a human or other animals because they have red and green color blindness. So they aren't only unable to see either of these colors, but they also can't see colors which have a shade of green or red as well, such as purple or orange. Dogs are able to see the colors brown, yellow, and blue. Any other colors that they can't see will appear as black and white to them. People who aren't colorblind have 3 color cells which help them see different colors. Meanwhile, dogs only have 2. The one they don't have is the one that helps people see red and green, which is why dogs have red and green color blindness. Although dogs can't see a lot of colors, they are not completely colorblind. Myth number 4. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You may have heard this saying, as it's a common phrase that people use, and many people think that it holds some truth. But this isn't the case, as you actually can teach an older dog tricks. It might be harder to do since they don't have as much energy as a younger dog, but it is still possible. Younger dogs may sometimes be easier to teach new tricks, since they're more eager and attentive to what's around them, and it also helps that they're just learning what is right and wrong while they're still young. But in some cases, older dogs are actually easier to teach new tricks. Older dogs not having much energy actually works in their favor too, since it helps them concentrate for longer periods of time, and they won't get distracted like a younger dog would. Giving older dogs treats or praise as a reward can also help. Trick training is even kind of good for them because it helps them get some physical exercise. Older dogs can learn new tricks as long as you're patient with them, and sometimes it's easier than people would expect. Myth number 5. Dogs eat grass when they're feeling sick. Just like humans, dogs can get indigestion, but unlike people, they don't have much medicine to help them with their stomach problems. Many people think when a dog has indigestion, they eat grass to help ease their stomach. Grass provides a good source of fiber, which would help for dogs to have in their diet, so it can help with indigestion, and some do eat grass when they're feeling sick, but this isn't the only reason why. Most dogs actually eat grass when they are feeling well, as a majority of their owners claim. They eat grass for other reasons too, like when they're feeling anxious or just because they're bored. But as long as the grass hasn't been done lately, there are no bad effects for dogs eating grass. Some might eat grass when they feel sick, but that isn't the only reason why, and in most cases, a dog doesn't eat grass because of indigestion. Myth number 6. A dog having a wet nose means that they are healthy. Since a dog obviously can't tell you when they're not feeling well, it's sometimes hard to tell when the dog is unhealthy. Some dog owners think that an indication of a dog's health could be if their furry friend has a wet or dry nose. This isn't the case, as the wetness of their nose doesn't indicate good or bad health. Dogs have a buildup of secrete mucus, which makes their nose wet and helps them with their sense of smell. Dogs are also often known to lick their nose as another way to help their smell. Another reason why a dog might have a wet nose is because dogs sweat through their paws and nose to cool down, so it might just be that they're hot. A way to check if a dog is healthy or not is to see if their daily routines change or if they seem to have less energy than usual. A wet nose doesn't determine if a dog is healthy or not for the most part, so it really shouldn't be the first thing that you check to determine what is wrong with them. Myth number 7. A wagging tail indicates if a dog is friendly or not. It's always a good sight to see a dog with their tail wagging and them being excited to see you. It's hard for someone to recall the last time that they've seen an angry or upset dog wagging their tail, so it makes sense to think that only friendly ones wag their tail, but this isn't true. When a dog wags their tail, it can display a range of emotions, and although in most cases it shows that they're happy or excited, it can also show that they're anxious or on alert. When a dog's tail is still, that usually means that they're relaxed, so it's most likely safe to pet them and be in their face. A wagging tail isn't an invitation to pet a dog, and it's smart to be cautious about it because if the dog isn't wagging their tail for a good reason, it's likely that petting them or getting too close will result in the dog taking a good bite out of you. Myth number 8. Tugofwar causes a dog to get aggressive. A tug-of-war toy is oftentimes a good way to get a dog physically active and can sometimes show their competitive side, which is why they sometimes begin to growl when they're pulling for the toy. Others take this as the dog displaying aggression and think that the game teaches dogs to have aggressive and dominant behaviors, but this isn't the case. Tug-of-war can sometimes be a good way to let a dog release any aggressive emotions that they might have and can overall actually decrease any dangerous behavior that they might be showing. If someone is concerned about a dog's behavior while playing tug-of-war with them, then they should let the dog either win or lose depending on what breed they are. Overall, this is not something someone should worry about, as tug-of-war is actually really good mental and physical exercise for dogs. Myth number 9. Fluffy dogs should be shaved in the summertime. When the summer approaches, temperatures begin to rise, which means that it gets hot for everyone, including animals. Many people think that animals like dogs get hotter in the summertime due to their fur, and so it needs to be shaved so that they don't overheat. But, surprisingly, a dog's fur coat actually provides them protection from the heat. Their fur coat gives them insulation, which protects them from overheating whenever it gets hot. If you want to shave a dog with a thick coat, you gotta leave a few inches in order to be safe. And dogs with a smaller coat, they shouldn't have any fur shaved off. If they get too much taken off, not only will they not have insulation anymore, but they also might get sunburnt. Some dogs should be trimmed during the summer, but it's best to avoid shaving fur completely off during summer, and the easiest thing to do is just consult a groomer and ask them. Myth number 10. Dogs feel guilt. Some dog owners have had to deal with the unpleasant experience of seeing their furniture ruined or their garbage spilled and torn, and then they see their dog having a guilty face with their ears tucked in, or they might run and hide from them. dog owners usually take this as a form of guilt, but this might not be the case. No one can be certain what emotion their dog is feeling, but these behaviors are most likely from fear rather than guilt. After all, their actions most likely have consequences like getting yelled at or put outside, and they're scared of their owner's reaction. Guilt is most likely too complex of a thought for a dog to understand, and they're just displaying fear more than anything. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more of this content, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notifications every time we upload a video. If you have any video ideas you would like to see, leave them in the comments below. Your idea might be our next video.